Welcome to another high-end retouching video tutorial where we're going to be walking you through how to retouch a studio photo from the start up to the end. So if you're anything photographer or you like graphic design tips, consider subscribing to the channel. So let's get into the video. Go ahead and open up your picture. So it will open up like this in Camera Raw. In this step, we want to make sure to adjust the lightening of our picture. So this image actually, the lightening is not that bad, but we're just going to go ahead and take down the highlight a little bit from our model's face, because as you can see, we have some highlights around her nose and her forehead. We'll just take it down a little bit. Again, I'm gonna take up the shadows to pop the colors a little bit. And also take down the white. And again, this setting is not the same on all images. Some image you have to use your eyes in order to balance out the lightening. So just take down and everything looks okay. So here's our image in Photoshop. We're going to go ahead and now start with the process of high-end skin retouch. So first we want to click on the crop tool. We're going to crop our image. You can crop by any proportion. I'm going to go with this 8:10. Click on it and I'm going to drag this up a little bit to fit it properly to the frame. So like this is okay. I'm just gonna go hit OK, and I'll zoom in a little bit to now move to the second step of this tutorial. So in the second step, I'm just gonna go ahead and duplicate this layer, and I want to remove any distraction on our model face. In this case, we have some pimple on her face, so you're just going to click on the patch tool or the clone stamp tool, or any tool of your choice, and you just dab on these spots and you replace the skin with this perfect replacement. All right, so I'm using the clone stamp tool. I'm just gonna dab here and then replace it like that. Sample a layer of the a section of the skin that is smooth, and you want to paste it up on the section that is having a pimple. So I'm just gonna take my time and then go through this. Just remove all the smaller pimple on her face, dab on it and remove it. This process sometimes will take time, so take your time and then you go about this properly. So I'm going to remove every pimple on her face to make her face smooth and ready for our frequency separation. You have to bear in mind, for frequency separation technique to be accurate, our model face has to be really free from any distraction. So that's why we're actually removing all the distraction on the way to prepare our model face for proper skin smoothing. So I'm just gonna go ahead and take my time and do this. Dab on it to make sure every pimple on the face or any distraction is properly removed. So this is the before after. Zoom in, and as you can see, there's still more of this. Just gonna go ahead and remove it just like that. So take your time, as I said, take your time and do this. Now we're moving to the next step, which is frequency separation. So we're going to name this up layer textures and the down layer colors. Go ahead, disable the up layer, and you go to filter, blur, Gaussian blur. Again, if you are going for a higher radius, you have less blurriness during mixing. So if you go for a lesser radius, like 5 pixels to like 1 to 5 pixels, you have more blurriness during mixing. So in this case, I'm just going to be going with this like 10 pixel right here, and I hit OK. Activate the second layer, go to image, apply image. Since we are working with the 16-bit, we are working with a 16-bit image. All right, so I wanted to show you that this is how to check what the bit of your image is. So we're going to go back to apply image, go to this layer right here and sample color. Choose the color layer because we want to subtract that. All right, so we want to add this layer to it because we're working with 16-bit. We're gonna choose the add. Make sure the scale is set to 2 and the offset is set to 0. Invert button is actually checked. All right, because it is 16-bit. Again, if you're working with an 8-bit image, make sure to change blend mode to subtract and you deselect the invert button. All right, so since it's 8-bit, we're just gonna go ahead and change the setting again. Make sure to hit the invert button and you hit OK. So now we wanna group this both layers and we'll name it frequency separation, FS. All right, open up the layer and don't forget to change the blend mode to linear burn. All right, the blend mode of this, change it to linear burn. So click on the color layer and you go ahead and choose the mixer brush tool. Choose the mixer brush tool and you just make sure clean brush is selected and hardness is set to 0 and opacity, you just keep it up to like that. This, just follow the setting on my screen right here to have a perfect result. All right, so we're just gonna go ahead and start with our mixing. Make sure you zoom out when you are mixing to have a perfect result. So I'm just gonna brush over the skin layers just like that. So as you can see, this is the result. I'm gonna zoom back out and I'm going to continue to mix the color of our model's face. Remember, always mix at a distance. This will enable you to see where the colors are getting off. So like I said before, mix the highlights together separately. So as you can see, the highlights on her face, you have to mix them separately. This is the before, after. Mix the highlight on the face separately. On these mid-tones right here, you want to mix them separately as well. When you're going down to the shadows, that's too much, so I'm gonna undo it. Just gonna go ahead and continue mixing. This shadow layer, you want to mix them separately as well. So the catch is you have to mix the mid-tones separately, you mix the highlights separately, and you mix the shadows separately to have a perfect result. Because actually, when you're just starting out in frequency separation, this is what you usually run into. So make sure to mix this very well. As you can see, I'm taking my time to mix, and you have to mix according to the flow of the skin. So this layer right here, I'm just going to mix it, brush down, brush it to the floor of the skin. All right, on the nose region, the highlights, want to mix it, so just go ahead and mix it up like this. So as you can see, the result is really coming out very great. Gonna mix down to the eye head backs, and also at this point we'll mix it separately on the cheek layer. Just go ahead and mix this up very well. So as you can see, the skin is actually getting smoother. Zoom in a little bit if you really need to in the smaller areas. All right, and you're just going to go ahead and continue mixing the other side of our model's face. And again, if this video is helpful to you up to this time, consider giving it a like and subscribe to the channel. So I'm going to go ahead and mix out under the chin level. Take your time and mix this out very well to have a perfect result. So this is the before after. So this is really great result we have out here. So I'm just going to go ahead and perfect our mixing. Now we move down to the neck level, the neck region. Make sure to hit this shadow separately. All right, I'm just gonna brush out. Also, don't forget, follow the pattern of the skin. You have to brush out the image following the pattern of the skin. So at this point, I will just go ahead and forward this video. So this is the before and the after. Before and after. Zoom in if you really need to for some additional correction. So as you can see here on the arm region, we have to fix this. Just undo it a little bit and you continue with the mixing. So this is the before and after. Zoom in a little bit. All right, so this step we want to go ahead and remove the extra pimple on the face. Remember to activate the texture layer in order for you to pick out the texture, in this case the pimple. Just going to remove this one right here, remove this as well to have a clean picture. Just go ahead and remove all this extra pimple on the face after we have smoothened the face, and this stubborn pimple, they can't be smoothing. So this step is actually to remove some extra pimple or distraction that we could not smooth during the mixing of our model skin. Alright, so I'm just going to go ahead and dab this layer to make sure we remove all this smaller distraction on the face. So also we want to mix the lip a little bit, just smooth the lips a little bit, smooth the lips just like that. See the before and after, before and after. So at this point we want to do color grading. Alright, create a new layer, change the blend mode to color. So what we want to do actually to make our model skin to be in one color. Opacity, reduce the opacity and the flow to like 50%. So if you check on the model skin, which part of it have a unique color. So to me, this area around her forehead right here, it's having a unique color and skin texture. So I'm just going to go ahead and sample the color around this layer that we want all our skin color to look like. So after sampling that, we just want to go ahead and start to brush on every area of our model skin. So reduce the brush size and you brush this other part of the model skin to make sure that all the other skin color will take this color that we are actually applying. So this step is not actually necessary, but I like to do this in order to maintain perfect skin color of our subject. So if your model skin is actually having the same color, or the skin is not the color is not that disturbed, you can actually skip this step. Alright, but if you have a mixed color of your model skin in this case, so that's why I'm actually doing this step. So I'm just going to go ahead and paint on any area that has skin. Just brush on it just like that to enable all the skin to have the same color. So I'm just going to go ahead at this point and forward this video so the video will not be that much long. So at this point we're rounding up with the skin coloring. So as you can see, the before and the after, we're just going to go ahead and perfect it, the edges right here, the part that we couldn't select. So if the effect is too much, go ahead and reduce the effect. Just reduce the effect a little bit, just like that. It's the before and after. Zoom in a little bit, before, after, before, after. So our model skin is actually looking unique right now. Let's the overall before and after. So this is what we have gotten so far. Up to this point, give this video a like if it's helpful to you. So at this point we want to now color the eyes. We're gonna create a stamp visible layer by pressing Ctrl Alt Shift and E, and we're going to go ahead and go to image, adjustment, hue and saturation. You want to take down the saturation a little bit up to like this, and you hit OK. Go ahead and add a mask and invert the mask. Add a negative mask. Take the brush tool, make sure the foreground color is white. In order to reveal this, we're just going to go ahead and paint it on the eyes, on the white part of the eyes. This will actually create a perfect whitening, not really that much white, like a little bit blue. Alright, so as you can see, this is what we have gotten so far. We're going to go ahead and paint the other side of the eye, just to make it a little bit more blue and realistic. So as you can see, this is what we have gotten. Go ahead and reduce the overall effect of the eye whitening. So this is the before and after. Before, after. The effect is not really that much, but the effect is there actually. So this is the overall before after of everything that we have done. So this is the before after of our model's face. So you can see actually you can use this method to smooth any kind of skin, and give this video a like and subscribe to the channel. See you on the next one.